Okay. I forgot just that quick what I was supposed to say. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's in the chat.
No, keep going. This is fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like the bloopers. Beep.
Yeah, exactly. This will definitely be a blooper. My name is Rhiannon Ward. I'm with the Phipps Insurance Agency. Phipps is my maiden name. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. And the wildest thing that's ever happened to me was I hired against someone's advice, against Craig's advice.
What?
Insurance dudes are on a mission to escape being handcuffed by our agencies.
How? By uncovering the secrets to creating a predictable, consistent, and profitable agency sales machine.
I am Craig Pretzinger.
I am Jason Feldman.
We are agents.
We are insurance dudes.
Right now, while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
We took our notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies led Craig and I to selling more than $10 million in premium in the last 2 years.
On this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the same results.
Just go to live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
If you jump on this call with us, we're certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.
I hired an employee. She was licensed and she had binding authority, and I was very desperate at the time. And Craig warned me that she might be a little bit off her rocker. And I hired her anyway.
By a little bit, I'd like to say that it's like calling a Lamborghini a little bit like Geo Metro.
A Pinto?
A little bit like it.
I needed a Lamborghini and I got a Geo Metro in her. And she spent her first couple of days searching online to find how she could file a complaint against Craig. I can't remember the reason.
Didn't know about that part.
Yeah. And I said, oh, just I'll take care of it. Give me the complaint and I will take care of that. and then eventually I found out.
So far it sounds pretty sane.
Yes. So it's in your agency, but I experienced the same thing. So I think what's interesting was the amount of makeup that was put on.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't know much about makeup myself, but it seemed like it was way more than I'd ever observed before, being done.
Her desk, the reason she couldn't sell anything because she didn't have room on her desk for leads. She had eyeliner on her desk and compact. Oh, it was so gross. There was a
lot.
So she was interesting. Then I found out that she was using my agency as a dating service. I didn't know. I didn't know my book was a dating service. And I found this out when I answered the phone one day, and one of my single, nice homes, lots of cars, customers thought I was
older
her.
Gentleman too.
Older
right?
gentleman thought I was her.
And she's a younger lady.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, when you said you're going to go with me on my bike. When can I come pick you up in my motorcycle? And I'm like, excuse me? And then it clicked that this was Rhiannon, not the person he had been talking to.
Oh.
In the end, she found her match, a man who was recently widowed, had a multi-million-dollar beautiful home that she wrote, one of the few items that she wrote. And she started dating him and married him and quit.
Married?
Yeah,
wow.
Married him, jackpot. And easily 25-year difference. And one of the nicest men ever. And
poor guy.
Poor soul. Yeah.
Oh, he has. Well, I'm sure he has some idea now because that was.
They're divorced. Yeah.
And we laugh.
We
laugh.
Only because it's crazy. It's so obvious that it would happen.
Eventually, that relationship obviously got rocky because she came back and she actually went to work for another agency that you and I know, Craig. And I got the same call that you got from me. And I said, don't do it. And the agent said, I'm desperate. I need somebody. She's licensed. And hired her.
I would rather just close the front door and, roll the dice then do that.
It was a learning lesson. And this other agent and we talk about it now. It was a different mindset back then. You felt like you just needed a body. And if they were already licensed, it would work out. And neither one of us were really into like coaching and accountability of our LSPs at the time. And that was
it MV? MV?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we still
she doesn't listen. She always asks and then she doesn't go with the thing.
Yeah. And she told me, she was like, Rhi, I need somebody, it was like fourth quarter. And she's like, I need somebody. She's like, I hear what you're saying. It was exactly the position I was in when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, do whatever you want. By the way, I had $300 deposit missing with her as well. And so I told that agent, that's back when we did cash deposits. And I said, don't let her handle the cash.
I think that we had an issue with it too. Like one time.
Yeah.
And there were a couple along the years. Have you had any of that, Jason? Like it doesn't happen anymore because there is no deposit, but.
Right.
No, I haven't, but I also didn't really do cash that much. I kind of ended that. I was a jet setter before.
Yeah. Dude, in Casa Grande, where it's, small town and just it's just a weird place, but no offense to anybody that lives there. It's very beautiful. So we would almost everybody would pay in cash. And so we'd have there'd be days there'd be 15 grand there in the office.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm thinking, dude, I mean, this isn't safe, right? Like we stopped taking cash. I just said, we're not taking cash anymore. You can go get a money order next door.
Yeah.
Because it's just not worth it. I didn't want to, there's, two dudettes in there working by themselves and, but just for the record, this does not exist anymore. There is no cash in that building.
Yeah, good. No, that was one of the changes that was really awesome. And it killed our walk-in traffic. And
right. So I think this is an important story. Like we laugh and it's funny and, it wasn't funny at the time for myself when I went through it. It wasn't funny for you. No. But we find ourselves in this position where we need somebody, right? Like we're desperate. And that's an emotional decision, right? Now I'm desperate. And I'm making a business decision based on emotion. And look what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that the emotional payment for making that emotional decision is far outweighs any kind of benefit that you're
for sure. For sure. Yeah. And the crazy thing was most of the time you're hiring people and you don't really know their background. You know what they're showing you and the little bit that you can maybe find out on Facebook or on, social media or whatever. But with this person, I had plenty of information from you, but it didn't matter because I just needed a body. And I would never do that today, ever. I'll do the sales myself before I put a body in.
Yeah. But it's, what? We make mistakes and it's okay. But I mean, It's like you learned, did you learn? Yeah, you did because you're like, oh, I would, But that's the whole idea is always have people on the deck. You got to have people on deck. That's why we're always interviewing.
And we never think about what we lose. We're always thinking about gaining the extra person, but you lose your culture. We're responsible for the culture and it all starts with hiring, right? Yeah. One person can ruin everybody because nobody wants to show up. Everybody's in a bad mood and it's crazy. It's crazy. But we don't think like that. We think, oh, we just need they'll add some sales.
Right. That's so true. Yeah, no, never again. Never, ever, ever again.
Like for example, that person, I can't remember what she did with me, but I mean, I'd say she was probably a $12,000 to $15,000 a month producer.
Yeah. Mediocre. Yeah.
So what? Less than 200K a year in production. And what does that generate? Right? 20 grand.
Right.
It's
and the headaches.
Let's say it generates 20%. So 40 grand. Is it worth 40,000 of revenue for that? No way.
No
way. After taxes, it's 20 grand. It's like, what?
Yeah. She was argumentative and you're right about the culture. My office manager who, Craig, she's 74 years old, been with, the company forever. And
she's so nice.
The thought that I allowed that around someone of that caliber.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was a bad decision. Very bad decision. Yeah. Thankfully, I think it didn't last very long. I mean, I don't even think it was 6 months. Yeah. I don't think it lasted very long, but lost money, lost a deposit, lots of arguments, lots of how come you can't get here on time? And then to find out my book was being used. Find the next seat.
And we always think about hiring the person that's licensed, but it's like, dude, if you bring in the right person that's unlicensed, they're going to amplify all the licensed people. Like it's going to raise your agency to the level that it needs to be, rather than even if they don't have a license.
Yeah, it seemed like I was saving money because I wasn't going to have to spend that time getting somebody licensed. But my current sales manager just hit his 90-day mark today, actually. And, you know, I signed him up. He was licensed in 1 week. You know, I was doing these other, you know, services where it was a 2-week thing. And, you know, it's if you get somebody who's ready and smart and wanting the opportunity, he was licensed in 1 week and started selling the very next week. Well, actually 2 weeks because of the binding authority that they have to do. But
love that.
Anyway, so the money I thought I was saving, it's not even true for an unlicensed person, because they could really be up and running in 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how quickly they can get through the company's training.
Right. I think everything that we do, like if we look through the lens of everything I'm doing is some sort of investment in my business, right? Like I'm either investing time or I'm investing money. Like when we're talking marketing, we're investing money usually, right? Like, or you can invest time by going to some kind of networking thing, which people get all cuckoo about and think that it's awesome. But I don't know that that's a scalable. You know, if you like going to networking things, awesome, great. That's cool. Go do it. But it's time. Is that time worth that? Right. Like, and so to save time, we cut a shortcut, bring somebody on, even against a recommendation, which I've done too. I mean, I've done the exact same thing. Right.
Oh, yeah.
What do they know? I know how to manage this. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's all ego. Right. So, so we bring them on, and that time that we waste and that money that it costs us to buy that person leads that doesn't work out anyway. You know, it's like, it's so expensive. So expensive. And then the headache, like we are trading our time in our business in order to get a return on it and hopefully ultimately create a situation where we don't have to be in the business.
Right.
And that's the opposite.
Right.
This person then brings us more into the business, even though it's like kryptonite. We don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
I
haven't had one of those in a while. But,
good.
In fact, it might have been that one. Yeah.
Let's go to the beginning. Let's go to the beginning. What got you into the insurance business? Was it a thing that you wanted when you were young?
No.
You were born to be an insurance dudette.
The funny thing is, I was born to be an insurance dudette, but I didn't know that when I got into the business. It is my blood. I know that. But I got into the business because I answered an ad. I was an office manager for a water softener company. And then I wanted to make more money. So I was like, hey, can I do sales too? So I was kind of doing both. And then I answered an ad for an insurance agent trainee. Can I say the company or no?
Not if it's this company.
Not if it has hands.
No.
Yes, then yes.
Okay. It's Country Financial. They're a smaller company. Some people call it Country Insurance, but it's Country Financial. And it was an insurance trainee position. And I was like, oh, so an admin. That's what I thought an insurance agent was, because my only experience with insurance was them being kind of order takers. I need insurance. Tell me where to sign. And there wasn't, so that's kind of what I thought it was. I definitely did not realize that it was sales and that there was advisory responsibilities. So I got hired and I got like really great training, really, really great training. They have kind of what do I want to call it? Their model is, everybody's in one office, and then there's an office manager that would go out with me on appointments. I would do home appointments. And really, literally, my life insurance sales is still from that training. My life insurance sales presentation is from that training that I got. I learned insurance inside and out. They paid to get me licensed. It was really, really great for somebody just getting in. And then I understood the sales aspect and I understood the income opportunities. And so then I was all in. And I worked for them for 8 years, I think. And there's you don't own the book. You don't, you're really an employee. You really are. I think I even got some employee benefits while I was there. And then I moved back home to Tucson. I was in Washington State at the time. I moved back home to Tucson, and my sister worked for the agency that I bought now. And,
cool.
And so then it was like, so I feel like I got really, really great training in the beginning, and then was able to turn that into the business opportunity available, here. So
That's super cool. I think that that is the best way to get into this, is to work as an employee for an agency, get the training where you don't have to wear all the hats,
Yep.
and then become the owner, so that you understand that hat already. Now you're wearing a new hat and it's not too much.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. It would have been pretty overwhelming because the training when I came here was not as extensive, for sure. And so I'm glad that I knew that kind of stuff. And I had some business background. My major is in accounting, so I have some, but this was a whole new thing, and I was able to learn that without also trying to understand what comp and collision was. It would have been hard, a lot harder.
Right. Yeah, because the carriers pretty much provide you this is what's on a policy. They don't teach you the business. They don't teach you the sales. They try to teach you the sales, but it's from non-sales people. So you can imagine how effective that is.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to teach you how to drive a spaceship. Never been in one, but I'm going to teach you how to drive one.
Right. For sure. 100%. That's exactly right. So I'm thankful for that. A lot of the things I say, I am still pulling from that original training that I had.
That's really
Super
good.
cool.
Good training is so important. So you had to have a win early, right? And that got you fired up about it. What was the first win? Was it the first sale? What really made you so excited about insurance, what you were in?
That is a good question. Yeah, I did. It's funny. It was mostly on life insurance sales, which I still write life insurance, but it's definitely not my focus. But I bought mortgage leads and would call on them and then go out to people's homes at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night and meet with them. And I met with my very first appointment was a married couple. They were maybe 60. No, I think they were like closer to 70s and not very healthy, but desperately needed and wanted life insurance. And I bought it and it was really expensive. I mean, I want to say their premium was $600 or $700 a month, combined for the two of them. And I don't remember what product I sold them, but anyway, it was a very nice sale. So with the company that I was with, most of my bonuses and higher commission opportunities were tied to life insurance sales. So it was, similar. You got to do the P&C, but if you really want to maximize it, you've got to have the life insurance sales. So I was like, oh, well, this is easy. If I'm selling life insurance at $600-700 a month, like I'm going to be done with my annual goal, So I had some success in the beginning and then later on realized, well, no, usually people spend $30 or $40 a month on life insurance, not $700 or $800 or what $700.
That's crazy.
So so that was kind of exciting. And then from there, so really my model was, I would buy the mortgage lead. I didn't buy any P&C leads. I'd buy the mortgage lead and then I'd cross sell the auto and home. And so I wrote all of that with those folks. It was a great sell and I was energized and ready and kept going.
That's like the opposite.
Yeah. I know.
What year was that?
I would do that today. Yeah.
What year was it?
That was 2000 and that's a great question, Craig. Hold on.
It's so because it's early 2000s, right?
It was 2008.
So there's no Facebook, right? Facebook just started, nobody's really heard of it. It's probably still MySpace at this point.
Yeah.
And then not really internet leads, right? Mm-hmm. So what leads, like you get these leads that are on paper or some list, and then you just call them. And
so when people
answered the phone back then.
I know. Yeah. I would call and they would answer every time. So anytime somebody bought a home or refinanced a home, this company would mail them after they closed saying, hey, are you interested in mortgage protection? The bank doesn't pay off the loan. So if you want something to pay off the loan, if something happens, fill this little form out. And they would write their name, their phone number, and maybe their address. Maybe I got their date of birth. I can't remember. And then they would mail it back. And then I would get an email with a copy of that lead. And I would call them and say, hey, I know you just closed on the home. You were interested in mortgage protection. We want to make sure that we can pay off the loan if anything were to happen to you so that your family can stay in the home. Just need about 15, 20 minutes with you. When can I come out? And then I'd go out and I'd do the good, better, best presentation, which I still use, where I would show them term, I did whole life back then, and then a split of term and whole life. And they'd always buy the term and whole life. And not always, but most of the time they would buy the middle one. And then I'd wait till I got them through underwriting, because our P&C rates were actually not very, very great. So I would get them through underwriting.
Oh, so it was good practice.
Yeah. I would have to, I need to secure the life insurance
for the
that
future.
needs to be done before I gave them the price. Yeah. Before I would give them the price on the auto and home, because sometimes if you gave them that, then they would start thinking, well, maybe their life insurance is too high as well. So I would finish the life insurance, and then I would be like, hey, now that we've got that taken care of, here, here's the auto and home. How does that look? And, I had 20% shot of writing that.
Look at
Crazy.
you. You knew all your funnel metrics.
I did, but it's so funny
made a
because
call, almost 100% contact rate. Then some percentage you'd get of appointments. And then from the appointments, you knew what you'd sell. And then from what you sold, you knew what you'd get in P&C.
You're absolutely right. But I didn't know that. Like, I knew it, but I didn't have it categorized like how you just said it. And I knew that if I bought more leads, my sales would go up. But I didn't necessarily, put it in my brain like how you just said it. And I remember watching you guys when I was thinking about becoming a dudette. I remember watching you guys and on the onboarding videos that you guys have on there. Yeah. And I remember it just all clicking like, oh, that's what this is. Cause you need to be able to identify it, because how can you watch it? And if you don't identify it, and you're absolutely right. It all clicked once you guys were able to identify it for me.
That's so cool. I think the two easiest ways with the life insurance, it's so hard to just go in blind, right? Like you don't know their needs. You need to have a long conversation to find it out. But like, if they have a mortgage protection, like that fills a giant need, and that's an easy sale because they probably have somebody, they probably don't want to lose the house if they ever die. That, and if they have kids, like it's a no-brainer. Like it's a easy conversation to have, to explain, to paint a picture of what it would be like in this situation, and it's easily avoidable.
Yep, absolutely. I should sell more life insurance. I should, because you're right. You're absolutely right. And we do it, just maybe not at the level, because you're right. It's if they have a mortgage, if they have kids, why don't they have life insurance?
Like if they made us start selling it again, those are the two paths that I would go down. Those are the only two. Cause I like you can create the funnel from that, right? You go into it blind. It's like, just call everybody and ask everybody, and then ask them again and ask them again. It's like, then you're the agency that's annoying. Right. And then they're just going to go shopping. Yeah. But like those two needs are are such an easy conversation to help them. And I don't know.
Yeah.
With each desired result, there's some level of activity that you can assign a measurement to, right? Eventually. So like if okay, Jason, you have to sell life insurance now. The first thing you're going to do is go, okay, great. Let me figure out what percent of the people we ask actually say yes to an appointment. Then what percent of that, boom, boom, boom. You get your numbers, and now all you got to do is push people through it, right?
100%.
Yep.
And you'd want to make
like
sure
totally different way of thinking. But that's how every business works. Every single business, McDonald's works that way, right? It's like, okay, we know if I have this many people come through the door, it's going to yield this many Big Macs and this many fries and this many Cokes. Boom. And this is our lifetime value of that person that walked through the door. Like there's a way to monetize it all.
The only missing piece is they have to say the same thing every time. Otherwise you will you're all over the place. So in each part of that funnel, you have to have some sort of stability on what you say so that you can, otherwise you're not going to get the same metrics every time. This month's going to be good. That month's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned McDonald's, Craig. I watch other businesses' sales processes and either make fun of it or respect it. McDonald's, have you seen their app that they have?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have an 8-year-old, and I mean, she would live at McDonald's if I let her. And
same with my kids.
It's when I was pregnant, I was like, my child will never. Yeah. Now she eats it all the time. But anyway, I know they say it's real chicken now in the McNuggets. It's not like when I was a kid when it was pink slime or whatever.
Right. It was cat.
But you leave it out, and 3 years later, it looks the same. And I've left it out for
and no
months.
mold.
Yeah,
no rot. It just
no rot.
It's so bad. But they have an app now. So kind of what you were saying, Craig, about being able to expect certain results. They now have an app. So now they're able to actually get personalized data on what my age, my demographic, my zip code. And they've made it super easy and like really inviting because it's a reward system. So if I order through the app, which means I'm not talking to an employee, I'm clicking an app to order, and they've made it really easy because my daughter gets the same thing every time. I'm literally just clicking reorder, and I can pay on the app, and I'm literally just driving through, and then I'm getting rewards that gives me free stuff all the time, like free Happy Meals or free whatever. So they're really like, they know me now. They know how many times I'm going to be there. They know what I'm going to order. They know what deals to send me that'll get me to go. I respect it.
And you know what's amazing is they figured out like where you are, right? Like they know everybody's on their cell phone. Yep. So this is the source of traffic. So for them, virtually, the cell phone is the mall, right? And you're walking through your cell phone and you're like, oh, McDonald's. Oh, and then you say it. You're like, oh, I have the McDonald's app. And then your daughter's like, McDonald's? Let's get McDonald's. I want McDonald's. And then, all of a sudden it's off to the races just because they put that little icon on your phone.
Yep.
It's remarkable.
I think everything about McDonald's is an amazing business case. They are, I would say, probably not the worst fast food. Well, they're definitely not the top end fast food, right? No. But they are the most successful restaurant in the history of history. Like they are. So all the business practices to take a subpar product and create the most successful restaurant in the planet.
A burger stand.
Yeah. Which is amazing. Like, how did they do that? And it's through all these things. And I love like the Happy Meal. Like the Happy Meal is genius, right? The kids love the Happy Meal. Yep. They want to go there. They want the toy. They want to feel happy. They don't my kids don't even care about eating the food. They just want the Happy Meal. They want the box. They call them boxes.
Yep. Now, a little 2-cent toy that is probably made out of lead from China.
Exactly.
That they put in their mouth.
But now they just came out with the adult Happy Meal, and it's going off the shelves. And I even heard that some of the toys are selling for like $300,000 on eBay. Something. Dude, it's bananas.
What kind of toys?
Just an old school. Kids?
It's their old school. Remember the oh my gosh, the clown and the little purple guy?
Hamburglar.
Yeah.
It's those people.
McDonald's is a clown.
Yeah. So
Hamburger.
There's a nostalgia.
And Oscar the Grouch.
Yep. No, that's Sesame Street.
I know. I'm just kidding. Making sure you're on your toes. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and it's a total shift of subjects. But I think Electric Company was better than Sesame Street.
Oh,
I was thinking about Electric Company the whole time during Sesame Street.
I would say that the people have spoken.
Big Bird, Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, just go to the YouTube channel and post in the comments which you prefer, Electric Company or
Maria. We've never seen diversity like that until Sesame Street in the 80s.
Yeah.
The best.
That's true.
I still like Sesame Street. My kids don't. I try to get them to watch it.
Yeah.
It's because Oscar's so mean.
He's the best character. Wouldn't you be mean if you lived in the trash can?
I guess so.
Horrible.
He's
and it's not even a dumpster. It's just a regular round metal trash can.
What did his parents do?
Yeah, he's a product.
Did they throw him out?
Poor guy.
They didn't live in a dumpster. They threw him in the dumpster.
Probably
that he grew up
mentally challenged.
All right. Let's get back to some insurance. This is good though. This is what we tell our salespeople. Anytime you talk about insurance, make sure that you don't talk about insurance on the quote. So on the insurance show, make sure you don't talk about insurance. Otherwise, you're going to bore everyone.
What do you talk about?
Well, let's talk about the team. So we started off with the team. Let's bring it back to that. What did your team look like when you started, and what does it look like now? And what are all the roles within your agency?
When I started, or when I became a dudette? when I started insurance.
Dudette.
She
When
always
I-
has been a dudette.
Right. That's a trick question.
I think you're born a
That's true.
well, actually, 2022.
Since you've had your own agency, let's start there.
Okay, since I had my own agency. So when I first started, I was by myself for, I don't know, like maybe 3 years, I'm thinking. And then I hired my first person and she was part-time and I was terrified because I didn't think I could afford her. And then I understood that her taking on some roles would increase revenue. And I was able to kind of see that. So that was when year 3 or so, I had a part-time person. And then when I bought this agency, I had one customer service manager. And that was it. It was me and one other person. And we didn't have clearly defined roles. I sold, I answered the phone. She sold, she answered the phone. Whatever business came is the business that came. And I wasn't really focused on numbers. It was just like we handheld our customers. We did everything for them. We just a lot of follow-up, a lot of babysitting.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to, maybe the last, let's say I probably started transforming that maybe like the last 7 or 8 years of understanding that some of that babysitting needs to go. And we kind of started training people and putting people on automatic drafts and, that whole thing. And that changed the game completely. So now I have one sales manager, I have one customer service manager, and then I have a part-time customer service manager. And then I consider my telemarketer a part of my team as well, because I was trying to have 2 sales managers and I kept hiring 3 and the attempts of getting 2 and then 2 would quit. I just kept going back to 1. So then when I became a dudette, I said, okay, what if I just feed my sales manager and stop looking for the second one, which I will get the second one. It's just not as necessary because we're doing well with just the one. Yeah. So that's my team now. And we don't do any hand holding and we teach people how to use the app. And we just recently said our door is locked now. We actually got a crazy person calling our office and threatening our lives. Yeah. It was not even a customer. Oh, in fact, it was a lead that our telemarketer was calling. The person had requested a quote and she called and he left us a voicemail saying he was going to do all these horrible things to us. So that was perfect for me. It was crazy. Yeah. We with the police, we reported it and everything. And he says he didn't mean it, but we were, yeah.
He had a bad day.
Yeah. He was young. He doesn't even live here. He lives in Phoenix. So
seems like you could get him.
He
owes you.
I know. That's good. That's good because the police officer said I had my choice of pressing charges or not. And I go, if I'm what you're assessing of him, I think it's okay. Maybe I should be like, hey, write with us and then
do it.
Yeah.
Get him. Call him and go, hey, look, I decided not to press charges, but here's the deal. The
funny thing is he wouldn't qualify. He wouldn't qualify. When I got the call, I look at the number, I look at the lead, DUI, and
what about some nasty gin?
Some what?
Some nasty gin.
Nasty
That's what
gin.
the sales people call it.
Okay. I don't know that one.
Natty gin.
I understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good point. I should have done that. Anyway, I'm happy
they call it the nasty. I got to write them in the nasty. That's what they call it.
That's funny. Yeah, we don't write very many with them.
You get credit.
Yeah?
Yeah, points.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll stop turning
maybe it's
them away.
for bundle. I don't know. There's something.
Really?
Or maybe I'm being put together. Maybe they don't get anything.
I didn't know that they did.
Maybe I need to pay more attention.
Well, but yeah, it is through that brokerage site. So maybe you might be right.
I know you get some kind of credit.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're happy to not deal with that person. And it was just kind of the push I needed to be like, we're going to lock our doors. I sent out an email to everybody. You got to call us or text us first. And we're really trying to get people to just do things over the phone anyway.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a nice little transition to do that. So
love it.
Yeah.